Hey guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today I am here with my April flip-throughs. So this video is one of my favorite videos that I post every month. This is the video where I'm flipping through all of my functional planners just so you can see everything kind of laid out after the pen. So if you watch my flip throughs of like my planner lineups, you know that I use several planners. It's a total of 8. It's a mix of like planners and journals. And so for this after the pen flip through of the month of April, I will actually only be flipping through a handful of them. So I don't flip through my memory book for Sophea, and I don't flip through my work planner. And that's just because for work, there's some like sensitive information in there. And I don't flip through Sophia's memory book, but I will flip through the other 6. So you'll see that all kind of here in this flip through. So since I don't flip through my work planner, I did want to at least show it to you. I use a big for work. Like the notes in here are like I said, they pretty much every single page has like student names on it, so I can't show it to you, but it is a dashboard layout big that I use for it. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna set this to the side. I just wanted to at least show it to you so that you can see it here. And I do post like flip throughs or of it in my planner lineup. So if you haven't seen my May flip through, that is available already. Right, so then the next one I'm going to flip through, or actually the first one I'll flip through, is my personal planner. Now this is new to my lineup. This was not one that I posted in my April planner lineup. And the reason for that was because I hadn't received it at the time that I had filmed my April planner lineup. What I planned to do in April for my planner lineup was to use like transparent sticky notes and use a combination of those sticky notes and gratitude pages, guided journal pages from the Teresa Collins collab with Happy Planner, and kind of have like a personal slash wellness slash gratitude kind of all in one as a daily system. But then I literally use 0 of those sheets. So you will see as I flip through these planners that I have 0 of the Teresa Collins planners in my lineup, or like after the pin, because April was just kind of one of those months where I did not get any journaling done, pretty much. Like, let's just be honest. All right, so what I'm going to do here is flip through this. This is actually going to be, this flip through is going to be fairly quick because there's like really no stickers here. I'm just going to show you the setup more so than anything. This is a no-teak cover. This is the pocket. I thought this was lovely. I really wanted to buy this just because it's kind of a unique size in that like it's smaller than the mini, bigger than the micro, so I thought it would fit in well since the Happy Planner doesn't have this particular size for me to use this size as like just a trial. And so what I did was set it up just a tiny bit. You can see there's some decor here, and then Notique gave like a set, as part of the order, gave a set of like clear covers, and on the back of it I put these like transparent sticky notes, so you can kind of see that there. It actually looks really cool like that. And then this flyleaf here with the Notique branding right here, and it's kind of like this croc style, so that's really cool. And then it does have like a couple of notes, like this is a piece of acetate that I created of my like ideal routine, which I did 0 of this pretty much, but it came with like these pages. So there are some note pages, and then later on there's some to-do pages and then some note pages, and those are the 2 kind of styles that were in here. And I think it came with like, I would say like maybe 40 sheets, 20 of each. And so I decided to use some of them, but then I also decided to cut down some like graph paper that I just have. These are like super old like graph papers from like forever ago that I just cut down to the size and just plugged in here. So again, this is going to be a fairly quick flip through. I'm not going to show you all of it. It's literally pen to paper for most of this. So the first couple of pages I used some of the Notique sheets, and you'll notice I only write on the right hand side here just because of the pocket. It's harder for me to write on this side. And then after using a couple of the Notique pages, I switched to the graph paper, and this was, just to show you this is the like transparent sticky note that I had originally on the classic size like Teresa Collins collab, and then I just transferred it over here. And that's pretty much it, right? Again, I'm not going to flip through all the pages. It's pretty much like just all my notes. And I use a very bullet journal style system here where it's like, you know, I just put a dot if it's a note or a thing that I did, and I cross it out if it's an event that I didn't attend, and then tasks get boxes and they get checked off or like filled in when I complete it. And so I just kind of use a weird mix, all right? And again, I didn't flip through every page. Like you get the gist of it. It's pretty, you know, like pretty basic. So then what I'm going to do is move into my Frankenplanner. And this, I will flip through all the pages so you can see it. Some of these pages I did decorate, and some I did not. And so what I have in here is 8 dividers from one of the Undated mini planners, which I just love. Oh, it's already like there's something on there, like food or something. Okay, so this first divider is where I put my work notes. And right now I do have like there's no notes. It's just like fill paper and some like one of the things here is like a year at a glance yearly overview for like 2022, so I can just take future notes, but there's no other like notes in here. I do use a big planner for work. All right, and then in the personal planner there's nothing in here. I have a couple of pages here of notes, but that's actually for May. But my personal planner, I just flipped through. It's that Notique for April, so I didn't actually have anything in here for April. And then my third section is the first flip through that we'll do, and this is my budget section. Now, in my April planner lineup flip through, I talked to you about like some of the sheets that I would be using, and I actually started off using it and then I transitioned to something different. So you'll see that kind of like mid-month. And so this is just a laminated sheet. I didn't use this in March, so the back of it is something that is used, like it's like an old household, like the very first household extension pack, but I just like this just to have a cover here, and I didn't actually use it. This is something that I did have in my April planner lineup. It's a breakdown of all of my budgets. I'm not actually going to run through these numbers. If you're interested in like seeing how I set up these numbers, let me know and I will like do a separate like budget video, but I'll talk about like some of the other numbers, but this is like just a breakdown of like all the different categories and like the month breakdown for like how we kind of operate, or like actually how I budget some of these things. And again, if you want a full video on that, I can certainly do that. And then these were the pages that I had put in my planner lineup. And so what I started off doing was like just using this as a weekly like tracker of all the things that I've spent, and I did decorate it a little bit just to like have it. And so this was the first week, the 1st through the 4th. I didn't actually date it, but that is that. I didn't use this page at all. And so this side is the 5th through the 11th, and I did kind of like start calculating a couple of different things. Like they announced that Gold Wild had new dates, and then like I started to reset my budgets, and so here's some like calculations for like how I adjusted some of the numbers in April. What ended up happening was the stimulus check came in, and so I used the stimulus check to kind of like fund or seed some of my major accounts, so that way I could have extra money as a cushion in each of my like spending categories. And then starting in May, I could like kind of reduce the amount of money I was putting in each month and still be at like a overall average that was about the same at the end of the year. And so those are my calculations, and I'm pretty bad at math, so there's a lot of whiteout and things like that, but it ended up, I think, working out fairly well. And the one thing that I did change, like you can kind of see it right here, is that I did end up adding, I don't know if you can actually see that, but I ended up adding like a new like category sinking fund to start saving for Go Wild. That is a goal of mine to try to attend. So I'm not actually budgeting anything, but I do want to pull money from like these stashes to add to this Go Wild sinking fund, and it's hopefully totaling up to $2,400 at the end of March, which is March 2022, which is when Go Wild will occur. Right. Then I did fill out the back of this sheet, just like this is meant to be kind of like a journaling page. I just made some notes about different things. Sell. That's it. Right. And then this page is a page that was actually part of Wild University, and it was one of the savings trackers that was released as a free printable in January, and I finally decided to use it. So you can see here, this is what I set up for Go Wild 2022. The goal here is each dot is $24, and there are 100 dots here, so saving up to $2,400 for the 100 dots. So that's that. I did, again, like I used some money to kind of like fund it initially, and I've filled it in a little bit more since then, but you'll see that I switched to a different system, but I thought this was super cute. All right, this is the like second full week. So this is the 12th through the 18th. And then, this is the 12th through the 18th, and then I drew a line and then put the 19th through I can't think of the date. 18th and then 25th, just because like these 2 weeks were super busy. Well, this week really was super busy for us because my uncle's funeral was this week, and so I was just like, well, let me just go ahead and continue using it instead of like having just basically only that. Right. And then I took some notes to myself about different things. This happened in the second week, so like literally that's all I had for like week 1 or like the first week, and then I was like, oh, that's a wasted page. so I added all this other stuff, right? And then one of the big things that we had was like we had a baby shower at the end of this second week, the 19th. And so there were things that were happening. Well, it was actually not the 19th, it was the 23rd. And so there were some notes related to that. And then I put a note here that I, after this, switched to a free printable that I found at justagirlandherblog.com. And so these are the pages that came from that. So I printed out what I wanted to use. And so I did want to use this financial goals sheet. I am talking about like some big travel that we have coming in the next like year, basically, within the next year. So I talk about that a little bit here. And then here I just kind of talk about like my April 2021 breakdown. Basically, I used this section to kind of break out like the bills, the small bills that I would need to pull from the bank in order to move back into a cash system. So that's the calculations there. This is blank. And then here's my income monthly that I want to change as a target. So here you can see 4171, and earlier, I don't know if you noticed this, but like right here, my total income here is 5,000. So I'm going to like try to reduce the amount of income that I'm budgeting, so that way I have like if I have extra money, I can put it into savings. I find like this is going to be more reasonable for us, instead of, we do make about 5,000 a month, but like budgeting only like 4,000 is my goal. All right, and then it goes into like these recurring expenses. And so like these are like basically all the bills that get pulled straight out of my account. This is the like out of my banking account. So these are the first, these are the fixed ones. I made a mistake, so I like Sharpied that out, but basically it's just a repeat. I just messed up some of the numbers. So these are my fixed bills, and then these are my variable bills, and I just write the amount that I paid each month for those bills. And then here's my no spend. These are the dollar amounts that I spend. The highlighted ones are the like extra money that I've made. So these are like not like going under, like I didn't spend 222, I actually made 222. And then this side is going to be like these are like my like cash envelopes, essentially. I call them cash envelopes, but basically these are my sinking funds. There are two that are home related that I don't pay every month. As you can see here, I don't use them regularly. I pay them like every 2 or 3 months. So those are the quarterly right here. And then these are the ones that I would have like actual envelopes for. Some of these I don't have like technically I don't have an envelope for it, but I should pull cash for it. I certainly can do that. And then these are the dollar amounts that I spent in the month. And what I do is basically go through and like add up these amounts here and just add, like, you know, when I add them up, whatever the dollar amount is, that's what I list here. All right, so that's how I set up that system. And then I also have, like, I just run through and it's pretty much each category. What I do is put the date, what I bought, like where and what I bought, the amount, and then like I subtract it from the balance in the previous line. And that's pretty much it. I have it for gas. I have it for health and fitness. There's one for home, which is a new one for May. I actually didn't use it in January through April. So this is a new category in May. Then food and dining, which covers groceries, eating out, coffee, all of those things. Then Sophea's allowance, she gets 20 a month. Daycare, which does get paid straight out of our account, but I like to track it weekly just so I can see it, and then I total it up and put it on my recurring bills, like right here. All right, and then I have my planner supplies. You can see, like, I basically like to write down when I actually go to a craft store, but I don't actually spend anything there. I actually am not buying anything. I just like to note when I go. Sometimes like part of it is like you buy stuff just because you're bored and you go to the store, and so I just want to make note of like when I actually go, just in case like I start falling into the habit of I'm bored, but then I'm also going to spend money. Okay, so that's there. I normally, right now in April, what happened was like I had like these weird like pockets of time where I had like 45 minutes and I didn't want to drive home from work and then have to turn back around and pick up Sophia from daycare. So instead of like driving past her daycare to go home and then driving back to daycare, I just stopped at a craft store, which is between work and the daycare. So that's what happened there. But I didn't buy anything, so that's all good. Then Amazon, which is one of my no spend categories, and then just miscellaneous, which again is a no spend category, and I didn't spend anything in April. And then here is car maintenance. I did have to divert some funds because I was over in my gas category, so I diverted some funds to gas. That's what is noted there. Education, I try to put in money here because I have to pay a lot of professional fees and like professional development type stuff, and I have a balance almost of $200 there. Music, I'm saving to spend on some music items in the fall, and so this is the money that I'm saving up here. And like going to concerts and things like that. That was that. Right, here's gifts and donations. This is kind of messy here, but basically I mentioned earlier that we had a baby shower and for some coworkers, and so I was the like designated person collecting all the money for it. But I did also like go ahead and buy the gifts. So I bought the gifts and then collected the money for it. And so these dollar amounts look weird because I purchased some of it prior to moving to this. And then here is travel. I'm just saving up a bunch of money. You can see here I almost have $1,900. Yay, for vacation. And then here is the amount I have saved for Go Wild. Again, like I mentioned earlier, or you saw earlier, the savings tracker, like that was the initial 408, but I've since added some money to it, so I have 552 now. So I have enough to buy a ticket. Yay. Right, and then here's my pest control, lawn care, and this is the like sheet where I do transfers and balances. Like I have some things that are paid from my personal money that needs to go into the joint account, and some things that go into the joint account that actually is my personal money. And so this is where I calculate some of those transfers that occur between. And so that's it for budget. All right. And again, if you want like a full rundown of how I actually set this up every month, let me know and I will do that for you. All right. And then this next one is wellness. So wellness, one of the things I did change or add is, initially in the April planner lineup, I was doing like the daily sheets that was combined with my personal. So this whole setup here is completely new in terms of what changed from the April planner lineup to like what I'm actually showing you here. So this is new, this habit tracker. I'm tracking a couple of things here. You can see I did actually there was a period where I didn't fill it in at all. This is like, yeah, I just didn't fill it in at all. So like it's not meant to be blank. I just didn't fill it in. But you know, it's just nice for me to kind of track over a month, like what are some of the things that are happening in terms of weight and like whether I'm actually wearing my like retainers, things like that. All right, so that is that. Then what I initially wanted to start off doing was this. This was in my planner lineup for April. I wanted to kind of track like my weekly meal plans. But then I realized like I wouldn't actually have something to flip through at the end of it because like the goal was to write on it and then like just erase it. So then I wouldn't have anything. So I was like, okay, well that didn't make a lot of sense. So I used it just for this like first 4-day period, and then I stopped, right? So this is the other half of the 4-day period. This week was Easter too, the Easter weekend. So a lot of these notes are related to like Easter and all the food I ate for Easter. Like this is the keto carrot cake that I made. It was actually pretty good. All right, then this is what I decided to switch to because again, like if I'm erasing it, I don't have anything to flip through. So I went to like a very old fitness layout. And it's pretty standard. I basically used it right here as a food log and then like to make physical notes and then use it as a water tracker, like pretty much as intended. And this page, pretty bare bones. This page as well, pretty bare bones. This one was a super old page that I used like years and years ago to like kind of like show you how you can change this layout, but then like I would pretty much use it as intended to track my food, right? Then this page I actually decorated. It's super cute actually. And like again, still tracking food, still talking about like some physical things. I did not do any exercise in April, so that's really bad. I am getting back into that in May, like trying to make sure that I stay physically active over the summer. And then this is the very last page of April 26th through the 30th. I didn't fill this out for May 1st and 2nd. I have a different setup for that. And again, I was aiming to like try to get back into like exercising, but that did not happen. So these are totally blank. And then I just tracked my food. All right, so that is wellness. All right, let's keep going. This next section is my birthday month. Now, this birthday memory book. So this is actually the first time I'm flipping through this. This was one of the ones where I initially had a setup and then I didn't like it, so I decided to get rid of it. And so this is kind of the new setup here. So what this basically looks like is like it's the yearly overview page. All right, and that's pretty much it. What I decided to do was instead of trying to do weekly spreads, I'm going to instead track some of these things. It's basically just to like, instead of trying to read that, it's basically the books I read, any trips that I take, any bucket list items, which is kind of trips as well, and then anything related to two major categories of strengths that I have, creativity and kindness. And so I want to be able to kind of track those things on here. I basically decided to not go back and backtrack. So I put a like gigantic picture, as you see here, of Merida. This is from the wall calendar from the Disney Princess. I did track like these first couple of days where we were on vacation, and then I just started in April. So this is what it looks like in April. I basically have a bunch of books that I'm reading. One of the things I'm reading through is the J.D. Robb In Depth series, which I absolutely love. I've read it like 6 times now, and I'm just starting over at the beginning and just kind of reading through that. We did have another trip right here. This was for my uncle's funeral. This was actually his visitation in Montgomery, but that's there. And then I had a couple of days where I didn't actually read, but my goal is to try to like stay consistent with reading a couple of pages every day. So those X kind of designate that I didn't read that day. And again, like I mentioned this in my budget section, this period right here, it was really like really tough. Like it was funeral and a lot of stuff happening right there. Like his funeral was on Saturday, so it was very family oriented, and like, you know, I did not have time to read. So that's what happened there. All right, and so that's my setup. I do have the pages here for through December, and that's what I'll probably just continue doing. If I need to add in pages, I'll probably do that. But I'm thinking this will work just to kind of track some of these like high level things that I might not necessarily note somewhere else. I'm gonna put in here just to kind of track what my 40th year looks like. All right, so birthday memory book, right? This section is where my Sophea's memory book goes, and she actually has a separate planner. I don't flip through this in these monthly views just because I'm behind you most of the time, and I do a full flip through of her memory book at the very end of the year, or like whenever I finish kind of wrapping up the end of the year. So you will see that go up like probably in 2022, early 2022. All right, next section here is going to be my social media. And so one of the things that I did here was add this habit tracker. I thought this was super cute. I really love this. And a couple of things that I'm tracking is like how often I'm updating my planner. Like some days I don't even like touch my planner. And then like Facebook, and like just getting on and scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, like again, just scrolling, browsing those things, and then checking the news, and then tidying my planner area. And so I'm tracking those things. The big one here is again, like Instagram. Like there was a period here where I just basically fell off of Instagram. So you will notice that I didn't have a period of posts right here. And this occurred again, like right after my uncle's funeral. I had a couple of posts, but then like it was like a week and a half where I just didn't have anything. So that's my social media tracker. I really love that. And then here, in April, I decided to move into this color block, which I absolutely love. I really loved using this. I was able to kind of like track these things. You can see here, like this row was for YouTube, this one's for Instagram, Facebook, and then like any buy, sell, trade, or destashes that I'm doing. And I have all of these notes kind of laid out here, and that's pretty much it. I just think that's really cute. These bottom three sections, they kind of change, but it's mostly like tasks or things that I've done in the day, related to like planner or crafting type stuff, and so that's all there. I think it's super cute, right? One of the things that I did do is this week, you can see here, this is the actual week, like the April 1st through the 4th, and then here on the 2nd, I did a like planner therapy video on my YouTube channel, and so you can see here it's dated for the 2nd, and these are the pages that I kind of put together for that video. And because I'm using outdated pages, I can kind of do like an April 1st through 4th, the weekly layout, and then put daily pages right after it, right? And so that's what I did here. These are the two pages that I used for that video on the 2nd, and then I can flip the page and it starts the 5th through the 11th, right? And again, like still using the color block layout. And then right here again, I had another video, so this is the page I created for that video. And then I also had a bunch of like, I was reorganizing my planner and craft space. So these are the new like visual of what it looks like. A couple of different areas. If you want me to talk about my planner area or like do a planner craft space tour, just let me know, because it's changed a little bit for sure. Right. And then again, like I pasted those in between pages, and then here we pick back up with the 12th through the 18th, still using the color block. Although this is a little bit less, like here's my uncle's funeral right here, so it becomes like a little bit lighter. And then the week after definitely is really light. Okay, so this is again, like this is the video that I did for that Friday planner therapy video. And then here is the 19th to the 25th, which it was very, 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 very light, I thought. And then I didn't do a video on Friday for planner therapy because it was super, super busy. So this is like the last page here for my social media planner. All right, so that is that. Then we're gonna flip through my very last section, and this is my faith section. So what I did in April was use the horizontal pages. These are outdated, and what I decided to do was basically white it out and just use these blocks as I needed them. So like this one, for example, I basically did the entire page to be like a song that I just wrote out the verses for, and it's all for April the 1st. That's it, right? And then here, I skipped a couple of days, the 2nd, 3rd, and then here is April the 4th, right? And so these are the notes from April the 4th. and it's like 2 pages. So I thought this really worked out well to be able to just kind of write as I need to and not worry so much about like, here's a Monday block, here's a Tuesday block, here's a Wednesday block, you know, and just write as I need to. And then here is April 6th. Again, I skipped the 5th. So here's the 6th, here's the 7th. These are the notes from the 7th. And then I skipped a couple of days again, and here's the notes from the 11th, the 12th, 13th, 14th, and all of this is the 14th. I just thought this really worked out well like that. And then here is the 15th, these 2 blocks right here. And actually this one too. This is like, you know, we've had some like family drama, and so all of this is the 15th basically, and this was just left blank because I wanted to put in the program from my uncle's funeral. Here's a picture of him. He looks so great in this picture. And so this was his funeral program, and I can flip through it. It's basically all the songs and readings that we had for it, but it's in Vietnamese, so you probably won't be able to read it. And so then here is the 18th, some prayers that we have. I'll have to block that out just because there's some names there. And then here again on the 18th, and then like from the 18th through the 25th, I did nothing. And so here's some notes from the 25th. And then last page is some more from the 25th, right? So again, I just use the blocks as I need to, and I'm not worried about like trying to squeeze everything into like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of block. All right, and that is the entire flip through. Now I know these videos are very long, but I find I really enjoy like looking through all the like different like spreads, layouts, things that happened in a month. You know, it's just good reflection for me to be able to see everything kind of like all in one shot. And you know, I find that I like watching these types of videos, so I hope you like watching them too. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. Let me know if there's anything that I flipped through that you're just like, oh wait, slow down, and like walk us through that more intently, and kind of explain your process a little bit more. I'm more than happy to do that. I just don't know what people want to see. So I know what I would like to see, so I'm going to record those videos anyway. But if there's something that you in particular saw and it caught your eye and you want to hear more about that, just let me know so that way I can record that video for you, just in case it's not on my list, okay? And until the next video, guys, have a good one.